game, it's about time. This is my time, this is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time now, I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time now, I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Please punch that like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. We are live here on Thursday night. There is no Thursday night football tonight. Those days are over in the NFL. Until next season, ladies and gentlemen, all right? But this stream is being powered by BetUS. Receive a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 using code YouTube150. Again, that is code YouTube150. If you're looking for a new sports book, BetUS is where you want to be, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember, it's not just the sports book, though. It is also the live betting, the race book, the casino, and so much more, including BetUS TV. All right. Oh, man, we got a whole slate of games coming up, and I only care about one. Controlling my own destiny. The Miami Dolphins versus the Jets has turned into a pick'em game. I can't believe this, man. They had us the favorite, then they turned it into a pick'em game. Why? Why did they turn it into a pick'em game? Because the Jets believe this might be Aaron Rodgers' last game, and he wants to go out with a bang and get his 500th touchdown. So they feel like, hey, this game could go any way. Well, who knows? We shall see. We will find out. But whatever you think, you can go online to BetUS and take advantage of those odds and get into the game. All right. Oh, boy, the Miami Dolphins. Oh, man, we were looking for the Pro Bowl selections today, the starting Pro Bowl selections, and there weren't any. There weren't any. And I sat back and I said to myself, is this fair? Is it fair that there are no Pro Bowlers on the team? And I thought long and hard about it, and then I realized and I came up with the conclusion of, yes, it is fair. It is very fair. It is very fair that there were no selections for the Pro Bowl. Now, you guys let me know in the chat, and I'll read a few of them off. Did you feel like anybody got snubbed? And if they did get snubbed, who got snubbed? Please let me know. If anybody got snubbed, who was it? Let me know in the chat who got snubbed if you think someone did. There we go. All right. Jonnu, A-Chain, Jason Sanders. All right. All right. I see that. Okay. That's pretty much it. Everybody said Jonnu, Jason Sanders, Zealer, and A-Chain. 4 guys. Our punter, maybe, right? All right. Well, let's break this down. I have some questions to ask the audience about this topic. If you don't mind, just indulge me for a second. For those of you, first of all, that don't know how the Pro Bowl works, there are three elements. Okay, one element are the players. The next element are the coaches, and the last element belongs to the fans. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I truly, truly, truly believe that the players and coaches gave Jonnu Smith and Jason Sanders more votes than the guys that were selected above them, with the exception of Brock Bowers. But I believe that the players and the coaches selected Jonnu Smith and Jason Sanders to be a Pro Bowler this year. I truly do. I truly do think so. Travis Kelce, I don't think was voted by the players or the coaches to go over Jonnu Smith this year, because Jonnu Smith did have a better year. Now, Kelce had similar catches and everything, but I believe that Jonnu had the better year. All right. Those who say A-Chain, stop lying to yourself. That's number one. Number two, those who are saying what's his name? Zach Zeeler, stop lying to yourself as well. Okay. All right. So but those two, Jason Sanders and Jonnu Smith, I believe by the players and the coaches, they were voted above their peers. Okay. So if they already got 2/3 of the vote on lock, in my opinion, why didn't they get in? Because I fail to believe that Dolphin fans aren't energized to reward them. I mean, Dolphin fans are some of the most voting fans that there are. Over the last 2 years, not this year, but the previous 2 years, the Miami Dolphin fans were like the biggest fan base to vote. Like, even Taylor Swift couldn't outdo the Miami Dolphin fan base the last 2 years. What changed? Because I'm here to tell y'all the reason why we have no Pro Bowlers is because our fans did not go out in droves like they did the last 2 years and vote for our guys. Now, some of you may have casted a vote, but why all of a sudden not go out in droves again and keep the same energy and vote for the Dolphin players? What happened this year that was different from the last 2 years? And ladies and gentlemen, I figured it out. There is only one. Hold on. There is only one reason the Miami Dolphins have no Pro Bowlers this selections this year. Because the fan base did not show up. But the most important thing is, why didn't they show up and at least vote for one Miami Dolphins selection? Anybody want to guess why Dolphin fans didn't show up and vote this year and they were the last 2 years? Anybody want to take a guess? Does anybody want to take a guess why the Miami Dolphins fan base sentiment wasn't as strong as it's been the last 2 years? Anybody want to take a guess? Anybody want to take a guess? Huh? Why all these fanatics didn't show up? We can only wonder why. We can only wonder why, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the shame of it all. This is why I tell y'all, a lot of these people are not real Miami Dolphin fans. The only reason we had so many Pro Bowlers in the previous year, now deservedly they balled out, but the only reason we had so many is because we showed up and showed out in the fan voting. We had players at the top of the fan voting. We took over Swifties. And now Swifties have reclaimed their throne. Oh my gosh, this guy makes everything about Tua. Makes everything about Tua. Tua Tagovailoa is the reason the Miami Dolphins have no Pro Bowl selections. Because what has infiltrated this fan base as a representation are Tua-neers. And if Tua ain't going to go, which they all knew he ain't going to get selected, because not a player or a coach is going to vote for him, except McDaniel, of course. Not a player or a coach is going to vote for him. They didn't show up to the polls. They didn't show up to the polls. Oh, man. Vote. They didn't show up to the polls in November. Oh, man. Oh, man. Two-a-year voter turnout was the lowest of all time. So as a consequence, everybody else didn't get votes. The voter sentiment wasn't there. The voting sentiment wasn't there. Gosh, child, I'm not talking for clout, now blaming Tua for that. I'm blaming his fans and the people who became so obsessed with him, not him. Tua's minding his business, trying to get his hip right, you know. I wonder, is he still golfing, you know, turning that hip. And, you know, sometimes you got to ask, how did these injuries happen? Never mind. Let me stop. Let me stop. I just be having fun, y'all. I just be talking crazy, all right? But, man, I'm talking about these obsessed crazies. Why y'all didn't show up for the rest of the team? Why y'all didn't vote Jonnu and Sanders, man, if you Dolphin fans? Why didn't you? I went in and gave my little old vote. Hey, you know what's funny about it? Guess who I actually put on my votes? Guess who I actually selected? You know what? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. There's only one reason. One reason. And that's why nobody got snubbed. The coaches and the players, I know they selected those guys because they have phenomenal seasons. They have memorable seasons. Jonnu Smith, career season. I mean, these coaches know that. These players know that. These players know who's been one of the game changers for Miami this year. They know this. I bet you a whole bunch of them just missed it because the fan voting didn't show up and show out like they usually do. Glenn said, I've never voted for the NFL Pro Bowl. Glenn, I never did until last year. So I'm 2 years in a row for the first time. I never really did until last year. But, you know, most people don't care about it. But here's what happens when you really want to see a guy get in, or you want to, like, winning teams, we know that. But the reality of it this year is there was no Tua sentiment, so the voting, like, numbers just went down drastically. Y'all know this is true. Y'all know that. You know the Tua-neers stayed home and didn't show up at the poll. Y'all know that. Matter of fact, they probably still showed up a little, you know, but y'all know. Y'all know what time it is. You know it wasn't as enthusiastic. You know, they probably went and cast their vote, but they ain't get their 6 burner accounts out to do it as well. You know? So, yeah, that's all this is, man. So don't sit around and be like, oh, this person got snubbed, that person got snubbed. Stop complaining about it. We the reason. We the reason. We are the reason for the amount of votes that players got over the last 2 years to be what it was. You think these other fan bases really vote for our players? Most fan bases only vote for their own, or they stay home. That's typically, you probably got 10% of all votes that are unbiased and people really filling it out just to say, here are my Pro Bowlers. We know that. It's about which fan base can get up and show the love the most, but that's why you got the players and coaches votes that kind of have the heavy weight overall. But from a fan base standpoint, you ain't getting people crossing lines. Oh, I'm going to vote for Josh Allen because he was the best. I'm going to vote. No, that ain't what's happening. The fan bases own that third. Who fan base shows up and show out? Our sentiment wasn't there. Our sentiment didn't care. But you got to ask yourself, why did the numbers drop? Like they dropped heavy. You know it. You know the numbers went down drastically. We know this. You go from having 6 guys in to none. No sentiment. Why? Because these people only care about one person. They only care about one person. That's all it is. This ain't about team losing. Joe Burrow got in. They only care about one person. So when they know he ain't going to make it, even if they come out in droves, they ain't going to vote. So all this, this person got snubbed. That person got snubbed. Who snubbed them? Some of y'all who didn't even vote. Some of y'all who didn't even vote. So Dolphin fans, man, don't say nobody got snubbed if you ain't show up to the polls. That's all it is. It's the fan base that didn't show up and show out this time. It's the fan base that didn't. And that's the cold, hard, truthful reality. And why didn't they show up? Oh, you always making everything about Tua. And it's true, y'all. Like, this fan base, we have a sickness in our fan base. Y'all don't even say, I think, you know what? I'll take that back. Some of y'all starting to notice it. Like, I'm getting all these messages on Twitter. Bro, I used to couldn't stand you, but now I actually officially see what you mean by these 2 ears. I actually, like, wholehearted, I clearly see what you've been saying all this time. And those who keep apologizing to me, you ain't got to apologize to me. You ain't got to apologize to me. Let's just keep talking about the team and keep it moving. The team we love. And I hear your reasons. I hear you reaching out. My bad, bro. I was actually listening to other people's opinion of you. I blocked you here or this and that because of what somebody else had to say about you. Now I listen to that person and they make every excuse in the world when it makes absolutely no sense. And I don't even know what's going on out here in these streets. But it's the only thing I'm sure those people could do. I knew this day was going to come where they done lied to you so much that they can't backtrack. They can't switch it up. They can try to sound modest. Well, I recognize now he got to be better than all. You've been lied to and manipulated just for your little views and your donations and all that good stuff, man. And y'all thought I was coming at it with malintent and hate. Well, guess what? The more you think that, the more it's going to look true. But time always tells, and I always told y'all that. Time always tells. And some of them still holding on to dear life. Boy, they mad at me. Suicide Hotline, why you in here, man? I wish TD Casual Talk would have made his New Year's resolution was to stop lowering the fan base's IQ. as a whole with the nonsense he spews. And here's the funny thing, bro. You know what, man? I love you, first of all, brother. It's 2025, man. I ain't gotta, I love you, brother. But come on, man. Stop doing that to people. Stop calling people low IQs, bro. Like, I mean, do you stop sometimes and just think to yourself, I'm sitting here listening to this low IQ person? Make it make sense. Why are you here? Or is it your job and duty to save people from people like me? I don't know. I don't know, but at least make it make sense. Like, I see some of y'all here religiously, TD out here talking to low IQ people. That's why, like, what draws you here on a regular basis to listen to the low IQs? The guy who's spewing to the low, like, what draws you here? Like, you're here listening. Does that make you low IQ? Because you're one of the people you're talking about. And I'm not saying that to even come at you, because I don't even want to come at people no more, man. I'm just trying to understand. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. That's all. That's all I'm saying, brother. I know you love Tua, but people are allowed to be objective about him, bro. And if you think it's hate, you're supposed to move on. You don't stick around and let your blood boil and get enraged. Like, some of y'all really get enraged. It's 2025, man. Let's spread love and respect for one another's opinions. And if you can't take it to the fact to where you got to type in, insulting people and all of that, the best thing is for you to move on. Just move on, man. I love you, though. I do. All right, man. Anyway, I know Chase. No. Chase, keep going on these fools. Man, I'm trying to show love to these guys, man. I'm trying to show love to these guys. I think that's the important thing. They're in such defense mode where they hurting right now. They're like, man, Tua ain't working out, and I just want him to, and TD ain't helping it. I just really believe in him. I think one day he gonna throw that national championship pass for the Dolphins. I can see it happening in the future. Just keep giving them chances. One day it's gonna come. Man, ain't nothing wrong with believing that. Ain't nothing wrong with believing that. Just ask you, don't get mad at me, because I don't. I don't. All right, man, let's move on. Oh, TD, I was in Dan's stream earlier. He reads a lot of his chats. He is a thumbs up. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. All right, man, let's move on. That's the first part of the show, just talking about the fact that there's just one reason the Miami Dolphins have no Pro Bowl selections. And it's not a knock on Tua. It's a knock on the people who are so obsessed with them. I want to know why y'all didn't show up and show out like y'all did the last 2 years to vote for the other Dolphins that were deserving. Just because he wasn't, why didn't y'all show up for the other ones? I was just curious. That's all. I'm not blaming Tua. I'm blaming y'all, actually. I was just curious, okay? All right, let's move on to another topic outside of Tua. So the Miami Dolphins are considering shutting Tua down. We can't move on. It's the next topic. It's the next topic on the sheet, man. So the Miami Dolphins are considering shutting Tua down. What's wrong with this organization? What do you mean you're considering shutting him down? You have already shut him down. like what did y'all talk about? Oh. What are y'all talking about? The man already shut down. Man is already shut down, man. I'm just asking as a fan that a full-fledged investigation takes place. I want to know how much he was golfing, how much he was golfing in the last 3 weeks. I don't know if this from that Houston game. I want a full investigation. How much was he golfing? That is pure hip motion, man. How much was he golfing? All right. That's what I want to know. But listen, he already shut down, man. Like, do y'all understand the gravity? 4 out of 5 years, he has not been fully available for his team. Do you understand the gravity of that? And we just like up on the next year. Gosh, man, I just can't get over the fact of how much of a hater I was called because I said you don't have to sign him to an extension. Wait and see. Wait and see. They are considering shutting him down. I was mad when I heard that. Why isn't he already shut down? The moment Tyler Huntley was getting snaps on Tuesday, it was a wrap. Wednesday, what are we doing? Here we are Thursday, and you considering? What is there to consider? In what world are you going to march him out there with this hip injury, if it ain't fully healed and you didn't play him last week? And what? He going to be feeling a little better to the point where he should give it a go? I told y'all several months ago, Tua Tagovailoa is in a lose-lose situation. I told y'all he was in a lose-lose situation. There is only one out of being in good graces. You better hope that Tyler Huntley gets you to the playoffs and the Miami Dolphins do the unthinkable and play you and you beat the Buffalo Bills. And what's the chances of that happening, ladies and gentlemen? What's the chances of us getting in the playoffs? I mean, they better now to me, but conclusion. Dolphin fans will not admit how much we screwed up. We screwed up. We so screwed up. We really screwed up. TD, do you think that you answered your famous quote, time will tell? Did we get the answer? He's still here. You'll get the answer the day he gone. There's always hope, man. There's always hope. But time always tells. You know, my haters to this day still say, you a hater and won't let it go because Tua proved you wrong. And I always ask them, can you tell me what I said that he's proven wrong? And they can't find it. Here we are 5 years in, and I've been labeled top 2 or 3 Tua haters known to man. and they still can't tell me what I've said that was wrong. They can't. They'll just say, yeah, well, he already did. He already proved you wrong. Can you give me an example? I mean, all your narratives he proved wrong. Can you just give me an example of one? I mean, he done proved you. I mean, that's all they can do. That's all they can do. UTP say you capping. Once again, that's all they can do. You capping. One example, please. One example. That's all. You might be right, delusional Patriots fan. He said the only reason you didn't get number one to a hater is because they don't want you winning. You might be right. You might be right. Why can't we move on from Tua? Denver moved on from Wilson. We can move on from Tua, but they won't. I think we're stuck. Like there's things behind the scenes that are in play that you'll never know. I have a lot of theories and not substantiated. Theory number one, maybe Brian Flores' lawsuit has a lot more merit than y'all think. Maybe Chris Greer does know that he offered him money, like it's being alleged. Maybe almost everything Brian Flores said in that lawsuit actually happened. That's a reason not to fire Chris Greer and to keep going down this crazy road. That's a really good reason. Yeah, so many theories that it could be. Maybe and this one's more not so much maybe, but I think this is more so it for sure. Everybody in that front office does make the decision together. They have meetings and they all vote and they all say come together and agree, okay, this is what we're going to do. And let me tell you why I don't like systems like that. They call it the collaborative system. I love collaborative systems, but I still have to have somebody who's responsible for the final say. Because in a collaborative system, when everybody makes the decision, who's going to hold who accountable? Nobody can point a finger at nobody. All excuses sound good to everybody. And even if you man up and everybody admits we were all wrong, nothing changes. They just say, all right, let's try to get right now. There's no true accountability in an all-exclusive collaborative process. Nobody's going to fire themselves. Nobody's going to go to Ross and say we were all wrong. You need to replace us all. You got to have somebody with the final say and that can trump what everybody else wants to do. People always talk about how Brian Flores didn't get along and wanted other things and all this and that. That's the system you're supposed to have, because guess what? When a decision is made, you know who you can point to and who needs to be gotten rid of. In the current system and philosophy, who you gonna point to? As fans, we're all saying Greer, but like we all talk about Greer, but McDaniel encouraging him not to have an O-line. The front office encouraging him to tutor. People are like McDaniel going to Ross, advocating for Tua. The advisors in the front office are seconding all these motions. Why? Because even in that front office, I think we got a bunch of people that are in their feelings. Why? Because they hear people like me, all the naysayers. And when they hear the naysayers who are criticizing the decision they made, they're all about, well, I'm going to prove them wrong. No matter how deep they keep digging the hole of being wrong, they're going to prove me wrong. No, with TD, I trust them in that front office more than I'll trust a guy like you. in my whole argument every time, I don't think I'm smarter than the people in the front office, but they get fired too. Why do you think that is? Why do you think general managers and coaches get fired? Why do you think general managers and coaches get fired? But y'all want to run around here with that label, I trust them more than you. You should. They're in the position, but guess what? The more this stuff keeps happening and you keep on trusting that ridiculousness, that's why you're in the situation you're in. We all feel that way, Dolphins state of mind. Even myself, I've always opened up the fact that I need them to prove me wrong. But it ain't happened yet. That's the point. I agree, CK. The rebuild has failed. UTP, listen, the Dolphins will fire me within the first 4 games. You don't know what you're doing. You might be right. You might be right. Still don't change the fact that everything they doing, and I'm telling you that it's wrong and why it's wrong with evidence, it still don't change the fact that I'm right about that. Still don't change it. Flores is probably laughing at Tua right now. Flores ain't laughing at Tua. Flores don't care about Tua as much as y'all think. Flores care about the Miami Dolphins. Y'all think Flores care about Tua? Flores care about the Miami Dolphins. He ain't worrying about no Tua. Players come and go. Players come and go. He ain't worrying about Tua. He worrying about the Miami Dolphins. I'm glad they failing. And I tried to tell him about that, and that. And now look at him. Now look at that. And I still want to get paid. Don't worry, these court proceedings starting soon. Right now, they fighting for, you know what they fighting over in court right now? What information can be made public and what can't. You know the NFL by the ropes when they fighting over the simplicity of what can be divulged to the public and what can't. That's where the case is right now. That's where the case is right now. So Flores ain't worried about no Tua. Flores over there in Minnesota having a ball. Making head coach money as a DC. Just keeping his mouth shut, coaching, doing his job, letting everybody talk about him in the media. Oh, Flores, turn this over. He's such a great DC. Oh, I believe he deserves another chance. Oh, well, I don't know. You got to worry about him with quarterbacks. He's just like, yeah. You just keep on doing me. Keep on doing me. Keep growing from my experience in Miami. Keep becoming a better person. Flores milking this, man. I can tell. I know Flores. He milking this. Ask him questions like, do you feel like you've matured in certain areas? Yeah, man, I constantly, working on trying to be a better person and better this and that, better that, every day, I've certainly made some mistakes in the past. So you got to look at those, being around guys like this and that, it helps you, having a stint with Mike Tomlin, showing how he manages everything in KOC. And man, he milking this, man. He is milking this. And guess what? Behind closed doors, And in NFL circles, like with the dogs of the league, this is why they feel we soft. That situation alone. You think these players don't talk about it? Tom Brady ain't scared to talk about it. You think these players don't talk about it? And behind closed doors with these coaches and all this and that? They all out here laughing at the Dolphins. y'all pick this fragile-minded guy over Brian Flores. But hey, you protect your quarterbacks. But everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Now, could Brian Flores have handled it better? Yeah. 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 But y'all need to realize a lot of coaches are doing this in these rooms. Some of these coordinators are worse. Some of these coordinators are worse. But again, let's just be honest. This is all the coddle one guy. He became the enemy just to big up one guy. One guy. Shout out to Flick Short, the homie in the building, just said, what's up, TD Huntley taking us there? That would be beautiful. James Cook did better than A-Chain in every stat and still didn't make it. LOL. Yeah, but I don't have A-Chain in a Pro Bowl, so yeah, that ain't really much to me. I didn't have him selected as a Pro Bowl. All right. Flores ain't a head coach. Yeah, he ain't right now. He a DC. He a DC, but I can guarantee you in the next 2 years he'll be a head coach. Whether he succeed or fail, he'll get another opportunity. He will get another opportunity. I'm just hoping he don't end up in this division. I agree, TD. This season was a disaster. We need a fresh start. Even you'd be a better GM than Greer. See, I ain't that type of person. I ain't into the politics. See, I'm coming in and I want to own everything. I would come in and own everything. Straight accountability from day one. Establishing a chain of command from day one. And accountability for everybody day one. Everybody here to do their job and get it done. All the politics got to get out the window. Every department. See, I don't want to see Flores on your Jets. On my Jets, they ain't my Jets, but I get it. And he'll suck at it. Maybe UTP. Isn't Flores still suing the NFL? Yeah, he just sitting back chilling. And let me tell you, his lawsuit just keep on, especially. And then they also were trying not to have like a trial with a jury. And they like, hey, I have a right to the jury. They fighting that too right now. Whether it needs to be an arbitrator, the judge, or a jury. And Flores is like, hey, we want our jury. We have a right. Like literally. Why? Because the longer he ain't a head coach, like, do you think Flores mad if he don't get an interview or become a head coach? He just sitting back. If I get this jury, jury, yeah, look what I did the last 2 years. I took the 31st ranked defense, okay, and made them number 9, and then the very next year made them number 2. But one of the best coaches. Look at where I've been, the pedigree. Look at how all the hype of the talk, and they still won't interview me. It just works. It's a win-win for him. It's a win-win. Don't give him a jury. He gonna get paid, and you can't fire him. And you can't keep him out the league because you're really in trouble then. You're really in trouble then. It's just a win-win, man. Let me see. What was this? Oh, an update on Tua from the insider. Dolphins QB Tua Tagovailoa hip continues to be limited as signs point to another Snoop Huntley start. Of course. Of course. I already got that. But yeah, man. Back to the original thing. Tua not worried about. I mean, Flores ain't worried about Tua one bit. Not one bit. There was some a report that came out today. That says OSU superstar wide receiver Jeremiah Smith wants Miami. He said he wants to speak it into existence. So this is arguably what people believe is going to be the best wide receiver of this generation. He's young, and the NFL has a rule that you cannot enter the NFL draft until 3 years after you graduate high school. That's the NFL rule. And scouts and everybody say that if he was allowed to go into the draft right now, he would be the number one pick. Some people say that. But he wants to be a Dolphin. He says in his lifelong dream to be a Dolphin, and he's speaking it into existence. But he's not eligible to be in the NFL until 2027. He's not eligible to even be in the NFL to 2027. So it's safe to say he'll never catch a pass from Tua Tagovailoa. It's also likely that McDaniel will not be his coach if all this happens, and Greer will not be the one drafting him, because this whole regime's last year, in my opinion, is next year. This whole regime's last year is next year. Okay. So we'll see. We shall see how that turns out. All right. Lastly here, Javon Holland wants to return to the Miami Dolphins, but believes he may be a cap casualty because the team is, cap strapped. Do y'all want Javon Holland back? Do y'all want Javon Holland back? Y'all don't want. Well, listen, man. Y'all gonna flop on Holland after one bad year. Man, I expected at least a few yeses, not one yes yet. Holland can kick rocks. I don't even need to talk about it then. Bye, Holland. Somebody said Jonnu Smith is way better than Kelsey. Y'all done lost y'all mind. Jonnu is a good player, but Jonnu ain't even close, okay? Yeah, he had a better year, but he ain't even close. It's just so tough for me. Like, go watch the film, people. Go watch what defenses are doing to Tyreek and how Jonnu just come wide open. Like, go watch how 90% of everything thrown his way was wide open pass. Now, do he make a few, like, ooh, nice Jonnu here and there? Yeah. But come on, man. Easy road. Easy road. He balled out. He worked hard. I ain't taking that away from him. But please understand the context behind what was happening this year. Travis Kelce was the guy 2 and 3 defenders was coming to on third and 4. Blanketing. Travis Kelce was that guy. In Miami, Tyreek's that guy. And they all pounce on him, and Jonnu wide open in the seam. Just call it what it is, man. TD, I've seen other sources more often here recently about Greer and his obvious job security. You think he finally goes this year? Give me a TD take. I don't think he goes this year. Like what? Like what do you do? You bring it here's what people need to understand. If you bring in a new GM, see, people need to understand replacing your GM is totally different from replacing your coach. Organization like team failure, next coach. Team failure, next coach. When you replace your GM, they got a vision. And 9 times out of 10, they don't care nothing about the leftovers in their vision. Whatever general manager you hire, his vision doesn't include Teron Armstead, Jalen Ramsey, Tyreek Hill, Tua Tagovailoa, Mike McDaniel. It doesn't include all of that. People need to understand that. When you replace your GM, you're replacing everything. Like now you're not going to replace it right away, but when that general manager come in, they got a vision. And the one thing they can't do is piggyback off of your vision. Now, it may take them 2 to 3 years to even start their vision, but how does that work? A new general manager next year might ride out with this same team. And at the trade deadline, you see 1 or 2 big moves. You're like, whoa. Then next year, no more Tyreek, no more this person. I mean, not even really operating in the draft like that. And you know who else would be a casualty with a new GM? Guys like Jalen Waddle, but it won't happen for 3 years. They'll be like in the whole evaluation period of 3 years, because that first year is a throwaway. You letting things ride out. You just sitting back looking at people. Anybody around here good? Anything I like? Any of these young pieces fit my mold? It's like you just letting it happen. Even if it's good, you're like, I don't care about the success this year. I'm just really trying to see anything here fit my vision of the future. That's like, even if you get a new GM and we win 11 games and a playoff win next year, hypothetically, right? And then lose in the second round. Oh, we finally won a game. Some of y'all are so conflicted that you'll think all we needed was a new GM. Man, no, the GM ain't got nothing to do with that. It's just that talent, it worked this time. But it still ain't get you to that promised land, and now all of them about to be gone. So I don't know, because the way you set everything up, you got to give 1 more year. The Hail Mary. It's the Hail Mary. Next year is a Hail Mary. It's the Hail Mary. And I think that they're gonna go with the Hail Mary. Now, I think they're going with the Hail Mary. And they're gonna do 1 more year. And then if it doesn't work, like say we miss the playoffs for whatever reason, like there could be no reason. It would be Tua got hurt again. Okay. Then there's no reason. Oh, we had a massive injuries in this area. It don't matter. Like there will be no reason. They'll do 1 more year. And if you don't make the playoffs or make it and lose in the first round, everybody's gone. McDaniel's fired. Greer's fired. Matter of fact, you better not start out slow, because you might see a mid-season firing. But yeah. So you're gonna get another year. Anything short of an AFC championship game is a failure. Remember, you were supposed to progress, and we're way behind. As a matter of fact, regressing. So I don't think they'll fire Greer. Now, in the event that they do fire Christopher Greer, that won't be it. There will also be some of those guys in that front office that we don't hear about that will also be replaced. But know this, if they do fire Christopher Greer, nothing changes next year. For the most part. Yeah, you're not going to probably re-sign Holland. You're probably not going to, you might even cut Chubb, but they're going to bring in a new GM And that new GM, the new GM can't come in and say, all right, cut him, get him. No, the new GM going to come in and be like, all right, what's our contractual situation look like? Okay, he got an expiring contract. Yeah, let's see if we can trade Chubb. Yeah, we're not going to re-sign Holland. Unless that new GM feels that Holland is a valuable asset worth the money, which would tell me automatically we got a bad GM. It would tell me automatically. It would tell me automatically we got a bad GM. Hold on. Let me give me a second. It was something that I wanted to see that I just thought about. Yeah, but it would definitely tell me we got a bad GM. Let me see this. Let me sign in. Didn't even realize I was signed out. So here's what I want to know. Well, let me pull it up. Yeah. Here's what I want to know, especially with Javon Holland. What was the problem with Vic Fangio again? That's what I want to know from him. What was the problem with Vic Fangio? You say you didn't like how he was playing you? Even though you had your best season in the NFL, some would argue last year. And this year you're having your worst season. What was your gripe? Just trying to understand. What was your gripe? Whole conversation. Mike Vrabel, next head coach. Highly unlikely. Vrabel wouldn't come here. Vrabel don't want to deal with that passiveness. They don't. Oh, TD said we have a top 5 D. I didn't say that. Now, you let these beat writers and stuff they'll tell you we got the number 3 defense in the NFL. Last year they said fire Fangio and the defense will hold on. They said fire Fangio and the defense will be way better. Well, it's interesting to me. Fangio goes to Philadelphia and he got the number 1 defense in the NFL. I don't know if a lot of y'all know that. Fangio goes to Philly and they have the number 1 defense in the NFL. Flores Vikings have the number 2 defense in the NFL. And I saw today somebody was showing some stats saying Miami, Anthony Weaver produced the number 3 defense. I don't know what that's about. TD don't like Campbell. I don't know what you talk about. If you talk about Calais Campbell, I love Calais. But I can care less about Calais Campbell because he ain't a long-term asset to this team. He was a temporary help us win a Super Bowl this year piece. And as I can appreciate the immediate year, he was never a long-term solution. And that's the issue. And people out here raving, right? They're raving about the fact of, well, Calais Campbell came in and gave us the same production that Christian Wilkins would have gave us. It's temporary and our team failed. It's about having long-term solutions. It's about having long-term solutions. What's the odds that every year we're going to find a tackle to fill that hole and be just as good? And then you missed out on a potential 4th-round pick for Calais Campbell that you should have gotten. You could have took that Wilkins 4th and the Calais Campbell 4th and got in the draft, moved up and got a 3rd. It's ridiculous, man. Somebody in the chat just said Patrick Paul looks good, man. Man, y'all need to stop, man. See that? No, I think you trolling. I really think you trolling. I ain't gonna lie. You leave it up to some Dolphin fans, they probably actually do believe that. They probably actually do believe that Patrick Paul, when he fills in, he's doing a good job. Let me tell y'all something. Patrick Paul is playing horrible football. You know, and I'm gonna be fair. He a rookie in limited snaps. He been playing horrible football. Like, he got to be one of the worst run blockers in the NFL. Pass blocking is just bad. It ain't like atrocious, but it's bad. Now, people always throw out that he's only a rookie. You can miss me with that. The NFL is about getting in the game and holding your own. You playing, some could argue you playing worse than Liam Eichenberg. So, yeah, although you're only a rookie at a bookend position, you don't accept that. And this the guy you might need to move forward with next year as your main guy? Oh, Lord. Yeah, Paul is a project. That is correct. But they're expecting that man to potentially start next year. Let that sink in. 2nd-round pick, they're expecting that man to start next year. And guess what? You go on free agency and get you a tackle next year. And if he's the backup, another indictment on Chris Grier. He will be fine. Y'all say that every time. Like, no, I don't want to hear it. This man ain't had a single game where he was rated good. He done played in 6 games. Actually 9. But 3 games, he only had 1 snap, and 2 snaps. The other games, he had 60 snaps, 19, 17, 67, 63. No, 67, 68, and 33. So let's just talk about those 6 where he actually got a little bit better playing time. Even on PFF, the man ain't had a rating over 62 yet this season. He ain't had a rating over 62 yet. Do you know that his run blocking grade on the season is a 38? Fins Up said, get a man a chance. It ain't mine to give. Go out and perform. I'm just telling you what he is until he ain't. That's all I'm doing. Like, y'all want me to walk around here and be like, yeah, Patrick Paul, you know, as a rookie, he's not playing well. But next year, man, that's whenever I believe he's going to take off. What evidence do I have to support that? Or is that what I'm just supposed to say? Because it sounds better. And it makes me seem like a better talking head. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Although Patrick Paul didn't look, very well in his rookie year, next year, look for him to take off massively. Because it got to be massive just to be decent. That's how bad it is. Or I'm supposed to tell you, oh, he'll be fine. What suggests that? What says he'll be fine? Like, I can see if I had a few sprinkled in, oh, that was a nice game. That was a good game. That was solid. Now the rest of them bad. And like if I had at least maybe even one game where I'm like, yeah. The man been putrid. I don't have to give him a chance. He has to give him a chance. I'm just telling you what he is until he ain't. Tell him to stop being it. And then I'll tell you he ain't no more. That's it. That's how it's supposed to work. Give the man a chance. Who says I'm not? But he got to change the narrative. He is giving me a narrative to tell you who I believe he is. And I'm telling you who I believe he is. Now, until he goes out and changes that narrative, he is who he is. That's how this works. Y'all so used to being lied to and people telling you that everybody got hope. Yeah, anything possible. That's why we always in this position now. We bank on stuff that shows no evidence of potential. Like Chop Robinson. I could say that about Chop. Because me personally, I still don't believe in Chop like that. But you know what? I see some things that I know that you can build on. I see some things that can help him continue to go in the right trajectory. That's a different story. But Patrick Paul, heck no. Heck no. Oh my gosh. Like this is bad. This is bad. Man, let me go to Liam Eichenberg. Liam Eichenberg's probably look better. And I expect my rookie second round pick to look better than Liam Eichenberg. Where you at, Ike? There you go. And you can't make this up. Liam Eichenberg got a higher rating than Patrick Paul. He's still trash too, though. But at least I can look at Liam Eichenberg and be like, oh, he balled out versus Jacksonville. He was solid in the second game versus Buffalo. The fourth game versus Tennessee, he was solid. New England, he played well in week 12. In week 16 versus San Francisco, he actually held his own big time. Second best game of the year. The rest of the other 12 games, he was terrible. But at least the other 9 games, he was terrible. But at least I can point to 4 games on here, 5 games where I'm like, he was all right. Now, y'all won't recognize he all right because all you care about is the ones he had. Then when you don't call his name at all, we don't recognize they play well. That's what we do. In week 1 versus Jacksonville, did anybody say Liam Eichenberg played well? And it was his greatest game of the season. And he actually did play very well. Nobody says that at all. At all. Then you go to New England in week 12. Did anybody say Eichenberg played very well? No, you just didn't mention him. Because there was nothing negative to say. Versus San Francisco, we won. Did anybody say that Eichenberg played well? No. Because when we win, we don't mention who played well on the O-line. Only when we lose, we want to say, yeah, that O-line. Yep, Eichenberg. Oh, there you go. Like Houston, his worst game of the year. You heard everybody, oh my gosh, Eichenberg got to go to Houston game. See, this is what y'all do. We're not looking at this game holistically. Now, I ain't advocating for Eichenberg, but I'm just saying he done did more than Patrick Paul this year. Now, I understand Patrick Paul is a rookie, but still. Yeah, Eichenberg is bad, though. This Eichenberg, 4th year, I ain't even know. I feel like it's his 2nd year. It's his 4th year. Yeah, he got to go. This is last year with Miami. If they move forward with Eichenberg after this year, man, shame on them. Shame on them. You might be right. Eichenberg might be starting next year. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, Eichenberg has definitely been better in run blocking, if anything. Still not good at that either, but that is his best suit, even though it ain't even great. Yeah, he a free agent. Like, here's another thing. You might actually get the Dolphins with people like Eichenberg re-signing them. Why? Because you ain't got no money to upgrade. And if you do upgrade, then you taking, once again, you ain't keep Holland going. You might move on from Chubb. Some sacrifices got to be made. It's that simple. All right. Anywho, I'm about to get up out of here, man. Think that's good enough. No Pro Bowl selections and why. This has been covered. They thinking about shutting Tua down has been covered. Holland wants to stick around. Of course he does. That's been covered. And let me see here. And the OSU wide receiver wants to be a Dolphin, speaking into existence in 2027. We'll keep our eyes out on that situation. Thank you for those who are subscribing to the channel. Thank y'all so much. Night Wolf, the homie said, TD, I'm speaking this into existence. LOL. Start the plan now to go after Big Jeremiah Smith, number 4, and Arch Manning. Joking, but not joking. Hey, you never know how it works out. But that's what a new general manager is going to get you a year or two from now. Getting their guys, finding their quarterback. That's what you're going to get. Tyler H said, what is the most realistic offseason for Miami? I'm glad you asked that. I'm going to give it to you now. Dose B Gaming, the homie in the building, says scoop up AOC for QB. Good value right now. Man, ain't nobody want no Aiden O'Connell. But knowing the Miami Dolphins, that's something they would do. That's something they would do. All right? I'd rather go get J.J. McCarthy and see how that goes. But that's neither here nor there. But realistic offseason for the Dolphins, knowing how they are, they're going to move on with the same group. They're going to try to trade Chubb or cut him post June 1st. They're not going to re-sign Holland. They're going to, for the first time, actually invest some significant money on the O-line, maybe get 3 pieces. They might get a veteran tackle for the low that's good. You see what I'm saying? Veteran for the low that's good. Not as good as Teron Armstead, right? Half of Teron Armstead, but better than Austin Jackson. So you'll have Austin and whoever that guy is. Downgrade, but still solid, right? But then they'll invest. They're going to keep on with Brewer. They like what they're doing there. But then they're going to really invest in the right guard. And they're going to get a solidified guard, veteran. I think they're going to veteran the line out with guys who still are playing good. The Calais Campbells of the world, still playing good, but old, where you can get a good deal. And let guys like Wynn and all of them be backups or fighting for the starting job. So we'll think that we have a solid O-line next year. Not great, but solid. But it will be the best O-line we've had since the Connor Williams, Hunt, Jackson, Armstead, and whoever. Because that's technically the best line that you could put together. But we'll have a solid O-line. That's what I think they're going to do. They're going to try to talk Calais Campbell into coming back, I believe. And they might get some work done at the linebacker core and on some restructures. Maybe a year or two restructured extension with Brooks and guys like that. That's pretty it. They're going to go in free agency and find some safeties, or they might just heavily do the draft. You might get a second-round safety. You might in the first round. The Dolphins might invest in the safety position in the first round or maybe the second round. Look for them to potentially even get an edge in the first round again. That's what's realistic. The team will roughly be the same. It'll roughly be the same. Relying on the quarterback to stay healthy and play consistent. Yeah, that's what'll happen. It'll be the same. And will it be enough to beat some of the better teams in the league? I don't know. I don't know. We shall see. But yeah. All right, y'all. Anyway, I'm up out of here. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. Y'all stay blessed. I will see y'all tomorrow. We're trying to get us a nice little stream in every day, chopping it up about some of the things going on with the team. Tomorrow, I'm sure we'll get official final word that Tua Tagovailoa is being put on the shelf. We shall see. And we'll go from there. And the Miami Dolphins better not play with us. I don't want nothing about, Tua's expected to dress but not start. I don't want to hear none of all that crap. Okay. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no what. Let me see. Make sure I ain't miss nobody's super chat. Bless me with their hard-earned money. I think I got them all. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Peace. I am out.